All right, y'all, so today we're talking about sexting. And just so we're all on the same page, when I say sexting, I'm talking visuals, people, not just the words. And adults are freaking out about this. It's all over the news. So with all this concern, parents, teachers, and politicians are scrambling to come up with rules around this behavior. And one major question that keeps coming up is, should underage sexting be a crime? All right, so the sharing of intimate material between partners isn't anything new. History is filled with scandalous love letters. In fact, the famous Irish author James Joyce is known to have written some particularly raunchy ones back in the early 1900s. And when the Polaroid camera entered the scene, it took romantic communication to a whole nother level. And then came the sex tape. But now it's way easier for these photos and videos to end up where you don't want them. Images and videos transmitted digitally can be stored on servers, intercepted by hackers, passed around online, or airdropped to nearby phones, which is a big reason why sexting is often considered risky business. Even if you trust who you're sending it to, once the image is sent, there's no guarantee it won't end up in the wrong hands. Like, what if your partner's phone gets lost or stolen, or a server gets hacked? And then there's revenge porn, images that are intentionally leaked to hurt someone. This falls into the broader category of non-consensual pornography, basically recording or sharing nudes without permission from everyone involved. And I mean, that's real pervy, guys. Don't do it. It can also ruin lives. The media has reported several instances of teens committing suicide where suspected causes include sharing of nudes without permission. And that's just heartbreaking. But laws are popping up to address this head on. In fact, you've got laws in 38 states specifically targeted at revenge porn, where penalties range from simple misdemeanors to full-blown felonies. But what about teens who are sexting consensually? Like, there's no pressure, no one's bullied into it, and it's all mutual. Now, we know that that's happening, though it's hard to say exactly how common it is. A lot of research comes from self-reported surveys, which is not the most robust form of data collection. These types of surveys often bank on people telling the truth or remembering things accurately, and we all know that there's a lot of room for error there. One paper reviewed a bunch of surveys and found that between 2.5% and 21% of teens that were sampled had admitted to sexting. And no surprise here, older teens do it more than the 12-year-olds. For example, one survey found that 4% of 12-year-olds had received a sext compared to 20% of 16-year-olds and 30% of 17-year-olds. The paper also found that two of the biggest reasons why so many adults view underage sexting as risky are because 1, what could happen if those images go viral, and 2, the crazy legal consequences. In most states, underage sexting falls under child pornography laws, making it a serious criminal act. Even teachers and parents can face criminal charges if they are caught handling the material. And oftentimes in schools, they are required to report instances of sexting to law enforcement. That's why it can be particularly dicey for schools to address. And teens do get prosecuted. It's not just a scare tactic. I mean, like, try to wrap your head around this. This couple in North Carolina were charged with felonies after police were investigating the guy's phone in an unrelated incident and found nudes of himself and his girlfriend on his own phone. So they were charged as adults for sexually exploiting themselves as minors. They ended up taking a plea deal so they could avoid jail time and having to register as sex offenders. So that's state law, but when it comes to federal law, a new controversial bill has been proposed that would strengthen child pornography laws. It would make underage sexting a crime that carries a mandatory minimum prison sentence of 15 years. It passed in the U.S. House of Reps, but it's not a law yet. It still has to pass in the Senate, and it's got a lot of opposition. Opponents worry that it'll end up doing more harm than good, like potentially ruining the lives of teens who get caught. It could also run into the issue of being selectively enforced, where groups like immigrants, poor people, and people of color could be hit the hardest. But despite all this, there are many scholars who think mutual underage sexting is no big deal, just a part of sexual curiosity in the modern world. They point out that according to the research, being in a romantic relationship is the strongest predictor for sexting for both adults and teens. And sharing of these images without permission isn't exactly that common. Only about 3% of teens reported it happening. So it might not surprise you that a handful of states have started writing laws around teen sexting that have less severe penalties. Check out the links in the description below for more info on your state's laws about underage sexting. And then, of course, there's the idea that it should not be a crime at all. Instead, there should be a focus on sexting education to teach teens about safer sexting practices that could help reduce some risk. So you either have 8 hours of sexting education or maybe 15 years of prison. So now we want to hear from you. Should underage sexting be a crime? Should there be other rules or education options instead? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Oh wait. If you like this video, you should check out our other video on social media and if it can lead to a depressed mood. Or if you're interested in how technology can affect relationships, you should check out this video from Braincraft. And again, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, guys. For real this time.